Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the penultimate episode of TV Talk Tonight. Yes, the season is winding up, fall has left us, and summer is upon us. Yes, we're going to start getting a lot of summer programming, and one of those summer programs is an NBC show called Persons Unknown, and today in the studio we have one of the stars of that show, Kate Lang-Johnson. We'll be interviewing her later in the show, but first let's bring out Carls and talk about upfronts and season finales, everything like that. Big week on TV, Carls.
Oh my god.
We've had multiple deaths, we've had multiple pregnancies, we've had lots of hookups. Let's been
interesting.
Let's get straight into that. First of all, you know, not this season. Usually you'll have a character in a show die at the end, but this time, major families, major casts have been affected. Let's look at Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Killer loose inside the hospital, Seattle Grace.
Yes.
Not just, you know, one person being affected by this. Every single person, every single doctor met the guy, you know, came into contact with Michael O'Neill. It was really emotional. The chat boards were going crazy. Shonda Rhimes, we haven't had a good episode like this since the bomb in the stomach after the Super Bowl with Christina Ricci.
Right, yes.
We lost a few characters. We lost some Mercy Westers. You know how they merged and we got the Seattle Grace and the Mercy West people. We lost 2 doctors, but we don't really care about them. A lot of people are like, who? But Shonda Rhimes was saying the big loss was Meredith had a miscarriage during this whole thing. She found out at the beginning of the episode.
Wasn't it McDreamy or McSteamy or one of them?
Well, McDreamy got shot.
No,
and
the baby was one of them.
Of course, it was McDreamy's baby.
I get them mixed up.
Well, they're all just good-looking hunks to you.
Yes,
You don't see through that, do you?
I don't,
You know, so unfortunately, Meredith found out she was pregnant at the beginning of the episode. By the end, she had a miscarriage, and that was the real loss of the season. But much like Grey's Anatomy, on Brothers and Sisters, the entire family got into a car crash because they were all heading home. A truck overturned. It wasn't just Robert who died. We all knew Rob Lowe was leaving the show. He's now on Parks and Recs, and he's guest starring in Californication. It wasn't just Robert who died. Everyone else got injured. Saul got cut, and they were like going to help him. He said, "Don't touch me," meaning he has AIDS.
Right.
What do you think about this? They bring back AIDS into the TV. It sounds like such a not a hot topic anymore. I mean, we don't want.
I think it's still.
Well, we don't want to forget that AIDS is still an epidemic,
Yes.
but it just seems that they're going a bit retro to make that a plot at the moment.
Interesting thought, Stephen.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
I agree.
I don't want to get too controversial.
Okay.
This is
So lots of death.
Lots of death. Well, who else died this week? Widmore died on Lost. That
shocked me. You know how you talk about the unceremonious deaths?
Yes.
That was unceremonious. Bang, he's gone.
Yeah, and it just came out of Ben. We thought the smoke monster could get him.
And is Richard alive?
I think Richard's alive. I think if we haven't seen a character die, they're going to come back on the finale in some big way.
Right.
You know, Lapidus, I think, is going to come back.
Right. Interesting.
Richard, all them. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow night when we watch the 2.5-hour Lost finale. There'll be lots to talk about that next week.
Right.
You know who also died this week? Valerie on V. She gave birth to the half lizard, half human baby. And then Anna came out and said, it's good that the baby survived, but the mother didn't. And then they killed her and made it look like she died during birth. So that was a bit evil. We're going to find out what happens with the V in mid-season.
Right.
What about the couples getting together?
Wait, there's one death you didn't talk about. Gossip Girl.
Oh, of course.
Well, it's not death, but it's a shooting.
He got shot. Chuck got shot on Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So they were just really putting all the soap opera elements into the final episode. Jenny had sex with Chuck.
With Chuck, yes.
And then she got shipped off to get rid of Taylor Momsen.
There was black makeup everywhere.
Oh, I hate when my mascara runs.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
But George is pregnant, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes, Georgia, yes.
Yes, now that Mercy got cancelled, Michelle Trachtenberg can go over to.
She had a very bad week. I didn't like her week.
Really?
It was a long week.
Okay. Funky. So, well, she's pregnant now.
Yes. With Dan's baby.
Yeah. Who else is pregnant? Anyone else pregnant? No, I think she was the only major pregnancy. Lynette gave birth on Desperate Housewives. But who hooked up? Huddy. House and Cuddy. Finally, after 6 seasons, they finally, in real life, not in imagination, got it on. So that's good for the House fans out there. Britta announced to Jeff on Community that she loved him.
Ooh.
And he was so shocked by this, he made out with Annie.
Oh, scared of
So it's no longer a love triangle between Slater and Britta and Jeff, it's a quadrangle.
Right.
Because Annie's in there now. So that was a bit of a...
Quadrangle.
A polygon, hexagon, you know, there's all these different shapes. Who needs math when you know TV?
Yes, right.
So that was happening. Now, let's talk about the upfronts. What was announced this week on TV. A lot of shows got the cut. CBS said goodbye. Old Christine, Gary Unmarried, Cold Case, Accidentally on Purpose, Numbers, all gone. Flash Forward, Law and Order. Law and Order was gone.
Well, Law and Order original.
20, it was just like, because you'd think they would have announced this is going to be the last year and they could have built it up like Lost and had all these guest stars come back. But Law and Order's never really dead because there's always spin-offs. You've got Law and Order Los Angeles to tie up any storylines like that.
Yes.
We got 16 new dramas and about 6 new comedies coming on the air.
Okay.
So a lot of shows to choose from next season. Yeah, No Ordinary People, which is a superhero drama starring Michael Chiklis and Julie Benz. That'll be worth checking out on ABC. Wild Kingdom with Will Arnett and Kerry Russell.
Okay.
That's on Fox. That's good. Raising Hope, it looked like a fun show by Greg Garcia, who did My Name is Earl. Cloris Leachman and Martha Plimpton starring on that one. That's good. You know who's returning? Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck and his moustache from Magnum P.I. is going to be back. Friday nights, a show called Blue Bloods.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Friday nights.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of dramas they're putting a lot on Friday nights. Not many people are watching TV on Friday nights anymore, so they're putting a bunch of new shows on there, so maybe people will stick around.
Interesting.
The biggest news of all is CBS.
Yes.
They've decided no longer is NBC going to rule Thursday night comedy. We are going to take Survivor off Thursday and move it to Wednesday, and we're going to put Big Bang and Shit My Dad Says with William Shatner.
I don't think it's called Shit My Dad Says.
Well, I'll tell you what it's...
The official title is what, Stephen?
Well, the official title is Bleep My Dad Says, but they write it as, $, hash, asterisk, apostrophe, exclamation point to say shit. But what they've said is they're going to write it that way, but anytime it's pronounced, it's called bleep.
Right.
But what do you think about those two shows taking on Community and 30 Rock?
Big ask. Big Bang Theory and Community audience are very similar, probably. Yeah,
but if this is true, but Big Bang gets like 12 million, Community gets like 4 or 5. So, I mean, obviously CBS is going to win, but hopefully it doesn't take too much away from NBC. But this is, the 1 year that CBS has said, forget you Thursday night on NBC, no more must-see TV, we're really going to rule the roost this time. And if Charlie Sheen had not come back to 2.5 Men, they wouldn't have been able to do it. Because they left 2.5 Men on Monday nights to premiere into Mike and Molly, which is their new show about 2 overeaters who meet at an overeaters meeting and fall in love. Okay. And that's followed by Hawaii Five-0. Daniel Day Kim staying in Hawaii. He's not leaving the island because he's got Hawaii Five-0. Interesting. So that'll be a whole bunch of new shows to watch next season.
And Glee is moving to when?
Glee's moving to Tuesdays at 8.
And they've got it after the Super Bowl. That's
yes, they've got the Super Bowl episode. So every male, masculine jock who watches the Super Bowl can go,
watch Glee.
What? And then watch Glee. We watched Glee this week. We watched Neil Patrick Harris doing Dream On Glee. And a couple of our friends were like, I don't watch Glee, come on. But they wanted to see Neil Patrick Harris because it was Aerosmith. And then Artie did the safety dance.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, so a lot of male people turned. We actually went to the Glee Live. Turned into Glee. We went to the Glee Live concert.
We did.
Yes, this is a little tour program.
It was very
impressive.
I
got to say, there was a 45-year-old man and his wife sitting next to us, and you saw he was like going crazy. He really loved it. So
it's the first concert everyone stood up for that I've ever been to.
True, it's not just for kids, for 12-year-old screaming kids. Yeah. It's for everyone. So that was
very impressive.
Sandra won Survivor. Congratulations to Sandra.
For the second time.
Well, you wanted Russell to win?
No, it was Parvati.
It was Parvati.
Although she's won before as well.
That's true, but the stink of Russell stank up Parvati, and so Sandra won it.
Right.
Should have got rid of Sandra instead of Courtney, like I told you to, Russell.
And just in reality news, Kelly on the Real Housewives of New York City,
crazy.
nutso.
Totally nuts.
Nutso. They need to cut her out of that show.
You think they need to put her in a straitjacket and get rid of her?
I don't know. It's not healthy. They should have intervened. It was not cool.
You think they should have got the medics on set?
She didn't make sense.
Survivor?
No sense.
She just totally lost it.
But good television, but no sense. Something's wrong.
Did you like when Jacob took all the candidates to tribal council and lost? Spoke to the 4 of them and explained what the rules were, and But
he didn't put out the rest of their
flames. Well, I wonder if the man in black can kill them now that they're no longer candidates, and now that Jack is the candidate. We'll have to see. Idol, we finally got to the finale of Idol. It's Crystal versus Lee. You happy with that? I think that was the right result. Some of us like Big Mike. I mean, Casey just wasn't trying. I don't think he wanted the pressure of being the Idol. I think he wants to do his own album. But we'll find out next week if it's Crystal or Leah who are going to be the winners.
Very big week of television.
Yeah, well, it's finale week. And then we got to find out what happens on 24 next week, and then a finale of Chuck. 24. So, we'll find out what's going on. But that's all we have time for this half of the show.
Ooh.
Stick around because Kate Lang Johnson is coming to talk to us about Persons Unknown. We'll see you soon. TV Talk Tonight.